Hello, I'm Pedector William Sanders, and in this DVD we're going to be talking about the short, striking, violent, powerful blows of Pukulan Shumangi Pusaka that we've often referred to as poison hand blows. Now that terminology originally came to me through my first Silat teacher, Guru John Malter, and of course he was a student of Willie Wetzel, and that story went that in olden days, and I know for a fact not so olden days, that they used to put some poisonous substances on their hands, particularly their fingernails, and sometimes during a fight a person might be cut with this substance and fall down relatively quickly, and nobody actually saw how the blow was delivered, and so they said, well, it was a poison hand blow. Now, because the blows are short and fast, there was some crossover in the terminology, so it was taught to me as, well, call them poison hand blows. So for many years, that's what they were taught. Now I will tell you that when I finally found Masjid students, the actual terminology, they didn't actually use that. They used called Tonjok Bareng. Tonjek B-E-R-E-N-G, Tonjok Bareng. Or, yes, it's B-E-R-E-N-G or B-E-R-A-N-G. And it means fast, short strikes. So Tonjok Bareng is the more appropriate term. I have it written down here. I want to make sure I'm not giving it. Yes, it's B-A-R-E-N-G. Sometimes the spelling is A-E, it can be very close. Now, when it was taught to me initially, they were taught to the beginning students who learned these, and by the way, nobody learned the poison hand blows until many months after you were, probably close to a year after you were in the system, and maybe beyond that. And they were taught as a series of 3 blows that were done in a wide arcing manner like that, around the person's head, with the presumption that you don't really know how to do these short blows, so do these for a long time, and then somewhere down the road, when you start to get more skill, we're going to short them up for you. A lot of that, in my opinion, was also keeping the students around a long time and saving the better stuff for the people who stuck it out. I've eliminated a lot of the interim stuff. In the kind of program that we have now, I'm trying to give you the best quality that I can today, and not buy this DVD now and 5 years from now we're going to change it. So since I'm doing this DVD on Tonjok Bareng, which is going to be what I'm going to call it, Tonjok Bareng, we're going to talk about the actual fast use of the blows. Now, the blows require a suppleness in the body. So if you're stiff, if you have issues with movement, this is not going to be something that you're going to easily learn. Those 3 blows to the head, which were like that, are in reality, and I'm doing these kind of slow now, should be done with an open hand. See how my hand is open? And I don't know if you can hear this or not, but just like a snap every time my hand closes, from the whipping of my fingers into the palm of my hand. That shows me that I have relaxation and tension, just like a whip when it strikes has the crack on the end. When you're practicing Tonjok Bareng, you should have that. Now, make no mistake, when it hits, it's like a rock. But as soon as it hits, it's like the air. It goes away. It disappears. That's very important, because otherwise, if you're trying to fight like that, it's beyond. It's impossible. You'll never be able to do it well. It won't even look right. So, I'll bring a person in for an example. We may need to change the zoom out. I think we need to zoom out. Oh, it's good. All right, so in the beginning, in the first method, maybe we'll turn it over like that. I want you to get the full movement of the face. We're not going to worry about the hands right now. We're just doing target practice. See, that's the old way, right? It's hard for me not to step on the foot when I get up close. But now you might not hear this, but he hears the snake, right? Okay, so see how I start to use my body? So when you start to practice the Tonjok Bareng, if you want to practice first on what they call the lower level, which just means it's bigger targets. Bigger targets, not real fast, pow, 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 pow with both hands. Single hand first, best to develop one hand at a time. That part of the training is accurate. How and which way you hit first, it's not relevant. As long as it's 3 different strikes in 3 different areas. Why 3? The consensus of opinion was normally after the 3rd strike, you better do something else. You better have a follow-up. The shock and shatter philosophy, let's move it over this way. The shock and shatter philosophy that we've had from the beginning, so you might want to follow with anything, a backhand speed punch, an elbow, a lower leg and tap, whatever. But again, we're just practicing the body mechanics. Now note that these come from movement. It's difficult to do Tonjok Bareng from a stance like that and all of a sudden go, but when I'm moving and I'm loose, I can do it easily. Now, I might want to feint him a little to do this accurately. In other words, we have some things you need to consider. For instance, when I hit this way, his head's probably going to go that way. So, he's going to come into my second blow. However, I might be able to get him to come into my first blow also with the principles of Sarada Pop, or following the hand, or getting the person to move a little bit in that direction. So if I move this way, he follows my hand that way. That's the way. That's my first Tonjok Bareng strike. Bam! And then he's going to recoil from that one. He's going to get hit with that one, and then he's going to get hit with that one. I'm not going to do this. So I may move in this way. Bam! And then this one. Now see that's the 3rd blow. So according to my philosophy, I'm now going to come in with a follow-up big destruction blow, where I move into the body. So figure 8 hand moves are good to start Tonjok Bareng. This way, because you can move a hand that way and start. See? Bam, bam. There's 3. Okay, I might move my hand that way. I might move this hand out this way. See, he follows that punch. Bam, bam. So as he follows that one, he gets hit here, here, and here. Of course, it can be under here. Now remember, with the poison hand blows, I'm not limited to a fist. I'm using this in the beginning because it was taught to me initially with hammer fist blows. There's nothing wrong with throwing out an eye gouge. So I can go 1, 2, 3. But if I do, it comes right back again. You see that? Boom. Right back to invisibility, so it's gone again. I can go 1, and my 3rd one can be snake. 1 to 3. But the snake, it's gone as soon as I deliver it. Immediately. Hit and open. Gone, and flow back into the moves again. Come back to something else. Alright, now, once you have the whip like that, you need to make sure that you have some power with it. Speed and mass gives you power. So if you're light and fast and you're hearing the whip snaps on your hands when you hit, you have power. You don't have to worry about it. The only way you won't have power with poison hand or Tonjok Bareng is if you're stiff and slow. Nothing. It's nothing. So you won't have the result that you want. So go for speed, power, like a whip. Now, the first 3 blows on the head are just to give you an idea for the training of how to move the body, how to snake the body in and out like this, how to bring the head to the side and hit. But of course, the man's not going to come in with this unless you're fighting someone with their hands tied behind their back. They're going to have a guard of some kind, and you need to get past the guard. Poison hand striking is one application, Tonjok Bareng, to get through the guard of the hands and get them to lower it for another strike. It's not the only way. It's one of our many, many, war arsenal. It's one of our tools. So, but this tape is on Tonjok Bareng, so we're talking about Tonjok Bareng. So here we'll have a classic boxer stance a little bit like that. All right. So from my position, the first easiest thing I want to do is, even if he's a little guarded, I want to get these hands out of my way and down, and I want to get to the target. So slowly, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's one idea. One, see, I start. Okay, if he had a face mask on, I could hit him really hard and send him flying backwards. You can't do that. So, boom. You see, even without the mask, I know where the control is and I know where to stop. But if I push my body a little forward here, he's gone, and I'm on the foot again. Now that's an up to middle line. Now I haven't used the other hand yet because I don't want to complicate things with you. Work on one hand, work on the other hand, and we'll get eventually to the combination of applying both hands together. You don't want to jump too far ahead. Now, if I want to flank to one side or the other, or even just for the sake of the film, since I can't move around too much, of course, like the application before, I can give a little decoy, and I can hit this hand back that way. Boom! I can come in and make my strikes. Okay, so again, it's this. See this? My backhand helped me there because the backhand's always here to do something. It just helped me so I could land that strike. Tonjok Bareng is not limited to the hands. Here, you see what I did here? That's a fast, rapid strike, hence Tonjok Bareng. And this comes straight back in again. And I'm still using only the lead hand. So you need to practice going one way, going the other way, opening the hands up in the middle, and using some other body parts so that your whole shoulder, arm, elbow. See, look at my elbow. See? A little closer. Here. That's Tonjok Bareng. 1, 2, 3. More advanced, more close. But Tonjok Bareng. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to do some close-ups of what we just did kind of at a distance so that you can see some better idea of the mechanics involved. I'm just going to show you some of my hands, and then we'll show close-up on a target, and then we'll go a little further with some exercises and drills to develop power and strength in Tonjok Bareng. Alright, so I'm going to stop for a minute while we set the camera. Alright, so a little close-up of the hand movements here. And you can see the snap, I hope, and maybe even hear that a little, of the relaxation of the hand and the wrist and the fingers that turns into a full compact snap if you're using Tonjok Bareng in a fist manner. Now, remember, you have this kind of a motion too. You have down, forward, and a variety of moves, but notice in all these moves there's a looseness and a snap and then a complete openness to the hand again. So we can hit with the palm, we can hit with the fingers, we can hit with one finger, one open finger, one fist. Alright, so we're going to talk about ways of developing that snap. Next, we're going to show a little bit of close-up on the target that we did last time so you can see it a little better. Alright, so on a target here, remember I said that they used to be taught in a real wide fashion like this, which is okay, but it doesn't really show. See that close little snap here? This is a better idea. It's more protected. The arm protects you better with the body. And then you have 1, 2, I'll do a little slow. 1, 2, a little faster, and you can see the snap in there. And there's 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's just with a fist. You can see how that could move with a snake head, for instance, or a finger, or a combination. But it has to have this looseness around the target and close, violent impacts. Now, if we have the hands up like that, like we did also showed last time, and this hand is floating in here. Now, you can't have moves around like that when you're doing Tonjok Bareng, because the distance that you have to go to hit the target nullifies the advantage that you have with the short-range blows. So I may start in the middle in this case and shoot one that way. See, this would be my first one. Turn a little bit like that way. 1, see that? 1, 2, 3. Or if I'm using the same ones, see, even if it's closer together, it can start closer, but I'll hit them apart. And then I have that third one up the middle. See? Now I can go to the outside too, here, this way. 1, 2, like that. So my hand kind of rolls around and comes straight into the target. Now that's just with a single hand. When you start to talk about 2 hands in the beginning, for learning purposes, they work in a sequential manner. 1, 2, 3, like that. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3 could be in this way. See, obviously you have the advantage of having a faster response, because as fast as my hand can go to here, these 2 work simultaneously. Bang! And then I have the third one up the middle. If I'm going to flank off to the outside, bang! It might be like that, I'm off to the outside. The way of learning these is not so much that you have to always go up the middle or the outside. It's to learn how to hit short range with various parts. This wrist bone here. So this is Tonjok Bareng. 1, 2. Wrist bone here. Back of the hand here. 2. 1, 2, 3. Because I use a different part of my body. It could be a forearm. This way, see? There's 2 forearms. And here. It's not the body. It's not the body weapon. It's how it's used that designates it as Tonjok Bareng. Okay, thank you. My face and my hand. So here I want you to see the exercises that we can use to develop the strength in the Tonjok Bareng. So these are a variety of movements designed to give you power in the wrist and the fingers. So the first is circular, like this. So you start a little slow, get a little warm up, and then snap your hand around in a circle like that. You can do 1, 2. You want to do them both together, or you want to do them one at a time, it's okay. And do it both directions, circle both directions. So that's 1. Okay, because when you have these rotational strikes, you need to have some power in the wrist and some flexibility. The second is a movement directly back and forth like this. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, in this flat plane. The same way, the wrist up and down like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Short movement. Still using my body a little bit, but it's the on and here. Another around in a plane like this. And reverse. Okay, those are just for the hand and the wrist. The shoulder. Look at the shoulder. Round and down. 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 Out. 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 The forearms. The fingers. 1 finger. 2, 3, 4. Shoot the fingers out. Another. Okay, we have to take a moment to change the DVD. Alright, so remember when you're doing these, to isolate every single part of your anatomy that has a hard, bony surface that you can use against a soft, vital target like a nerve or a muscle area, which is how we're how we're striking with these. So again, that means you can spend time exercising a one finger strike. Snap. 2, 3. My first knuckle. My last knuckle. My thumb slice, over. But short. Short, so when I'm fighting, I'm not opening myself up like that with the strikes. They're short, violent, piercing strikes to go through the opponent. Now, we'll bring in a person here. I have just an arm here for a moment. When you start to practice these with a target, whether it's an actual person or something else, and it's always better, in my opinion, to use a real person, so that visually and internally you can align to actual targets. You can't do that with a bag. The idea when you're practicing these with one hand in the beginning is to do a rotation and try, as you move up the arm, I'm doing it slow now, to turn a different target to the enemy each time. So maybe this is a single finger strike, maybe that's a knuckle strike from the back, a palm strike, a wrist bone strike, a forearm strike, and so on and so forth. And then you start to move it up with some snap. Not so much to hurt him, but my snap I want down this way. So that if I follow through a little bit, they're going to be very painful. Do these work? Yes. Why? Because you have maximum speed and torque with mass, and that delivers power. Obviously, if I go like that, it's not going to do anything. And if someone's very stiff and they try to do it like that, it's not going to do anything. But it's like a whip. A whip. What does a whip weigh? A few pounds. Less. What does the end weigh? A few ounces. But it can cut you and hurt you severely because of the velocity and the fact that it changes directions quickly on the end, just like that. See? Huh? Okay, we'll take one moment break. All right, we had somebody coming to the gate, so I had to stop for a minute. Now, once you have developed this idea of using different parts of your hand all the way up the body, and then you can start to use different targets. So there's a knuckle strike and a forearm strike. Okay, now when you're in close, you can use elbows combined with the other strikes also. So here, see, this is to practice quick, short, fast strikes, in and out. Stop for a moment, please. All right, hopefully no more interruptions. So also we can have shoulder movements. See here? Only one side now. I'm only doing one. So do an elbow, shoulder. Or the other way. Okay, so it's this little short movement. Now what good might that be? I might be inside here fighting a person. I have to hit that arm out a little bit that way. Or I may be in close like this, wanting to hit low, and throw that shoulder in to move that arm a little bit. Or I could be right up against him. This is when these are the most effective. And it might be a shot into him like that, to off-balance him, to set him up. Now remember, these strikes can be damaging unto themselves, or they can be a setup for the next blow. We'll get to that in a minute. After you've developed one hand, like I showed you, then you want to start using both hands in a sequence. This way. This way, so they move See, I'm trying to do a little bit slower here. Notice that my body's starting to use the bamboo principle a little bit, and I can use the principle of returning strike here. So even one poison hand, watch, and I make an acceleration, and I hit again very quickly. Now once you have that, you can start to work those in between their hands as well. See, this is going to set me up for my real strike. This is what I mean. These can be damaging unto themselves, or they can put me in a position to set my finishing move off. Up the middle. Alright, so they have to be in sequence now because he has two hands, I have two. Now if he throws one punch, and then he throws one punch and another, I can use the same hand to take both. Try to do that without hurting my opponent. 1, 2. See, and then I can still use that lead hand if I want to come in and strike. Or it could be 1, 2, 3, and up over the top. See that here? There's an elbow, it's around the forearm, an elbow. Alright, so you have to work them in sequence like that. When you're in very close to your opponent, and here, sometimes without even that, it's good to practice the hip this way. Hip, shoulder, head. Because the head's also with the Tonjok Bareng. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all this short strike, even with my hands down. If he throws a punch that way, see that? That's my strike here. And then look at my elbow comes back. Because it's that short, fast strike again. See, if it was a big strike, it would be like that. Instead of that, it's that. And then look. And up here again. Now watch my legs here. See that? Now you have, the camera can go down the legs here for a minute. Okay, watch. See my knee? Bang. Bang. And this way, look. Bang. Here. 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 You have the same rotational striking sequence here. You can drop and use the shin bone. Here. And then the knee in again. Okay, so from the lower extremities to the knee, you have the same thing. When you're in close with snake, both knees, watch, bam. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This sets him up. This breaks the leg with that strike here. Okay, so exactly the same snap on the lower part for Tonjok Bareng is on the upper. Kicks, the same. If you have a kick coming in like a slippery foot move toe point, then the bottom of the kick comes, I don't want to put the dirt on the pants. One like that, one like that. Bang, bang. 1, 2, 1, 2. So straighten the knee, extends the knee, and then like lock your knees up. And then here, so bang, there's your break. So you can make these exercises with your feet the same. With the knees, the same. Now watch my bottoms of my feet. When I deliver these, I can raise and lower the heel that way. Make these very, very fast. And if I come down, I can deliver together like that too. The same point, so it drops them. But these are like a machine gun. Like that. So you see you have the whole body working as an independent, flexible whip. Every place the body bends, This is a strike. Every place it bends, you have energy comes out to that point on the strike. Again, this way, watch. The arm out like that. I talked about the shoulder before. He throws a punch. Like break it this way. There's the break of the elbow with my shoulder. He throws that hand here. Break this way. Okay, so once you have the idea of the short strikes, you have a lot of variety to do with your body. So my suggestion is one hand first. Practice 2 on a stationary target. Practice one hand against the opponent with the hands up. Either separate the hands apart or go to the outside. Also, if you can get pads. You need to wear pads with this. They have to pad themselves up because otherwise you'll have splintered bones, broken bones, bad bruises. But see, he throws a slow punch like that. So, see, if he had pads on, I could go fast, and I could really hit. Or again. But if he really had pads, that could give maximum impact. And if you have a pad that has a little bit of resistance, you can hear them like that when you hit. Pow, 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 pow. Every time, and you'll know if it had power, if it really hurt him, if it was no pads there. For the face, if you have a face mask, you can do the same thing. Put a big heavy face mask on and hit that so that there's actual impact, so you can feel that you can hit something. We used to take little boards, 1-inch boards. Not much of a thing to do, but have somebody hold the board at first, and then with a short strike break the board. Later, these boards have to be not real thick because it's impossible if it's real thick. But a thin board, piece of pine, toss it in the air, and try to break it with a snap before it hits the ground because there's no resistance. If there's any slowness in your blow, the board just flies away. But if it's a thin enough board, you have a fast snap, you can crack it in the air. It makes a nice demonstration. And when you hear that little board, even if it's small, break, you know the small bones in the hand will shatter the same way. So that's the practice DVD for Tonjok Bareng. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, I'm going to show just a couple of applications of some Tonjok Bareng against spontaneous attacks where I'm not in a fighting stance or on a preparatory mode. Because these are the most efficient when you're just in a natural position. It could be like that, standing around, or it could be just your hands are down, whatever. It teaches speed and reflexes, another thing that the Tonjok Bareng teaches. So we're going to have to go, we're going to be a little bit of speed, but we have to be careful because we don't have pads or anything. Okay, so we'll do one now. Alright, so it's an idea. I'm standing there. I think he threw a right and left, so just to see again, I think what I did was that, and that, or that, and that, and that. So that's a spontaneous reaction to some type of a combination that came in without me being really aware of what he was gonna throw. Now you could be here like this in a natural stance too. So if you're in a natural stance, it's very, very easy. So if you can remember what you just did, do the same thing from the natural stance. See, because I'm here. So I have that snap from that position, very enclosed, very tight, and very fast for a counter. Okay, now we're going to try some type of a kick coming in. See that? It's a fast counter, and then up to the body. So one more time, please. You see this here? Ready to go? I have to be careful. Remember, he doesn't have pads. He's not protected. Because I really wanted to come in and launch that one, but I was able to stop it in time. Look at my hands. The hands are controlling the elbow and the shoulder here in a good strike position. All right, so it's very, very important to practice spontaneous work after you get the work like that. Certainly you can do from a position where you're acting like you're in a defensive mode and you're not really wanting to fight. So if someone comes and they threaten me, and I'm like, look, I don't want any problems, and they look, I can even be like that a little. See, this looks like I'm backing away, but look, what I'm actually doing is protecting my body. My hands are coming inside. My neck's protected. My hands are out like that, saying, look, stay away. As long as he doesn't have a blade, I can have my hands like that without a problem. If he had a blade, they'd be like that. All right, so if he launches from here, whatever. See? I was nice that I used an open hand here, where really it might be, if I used an open hand, it would be more the heel palm striking down. Also, you can use the body weight. So, that exact same thing again. See here? That gate, strength. Look at this at simultaneous Tonjok Bareng from the top and the bottom. So my legs are working this way. And all of a sudden, like that. All right, so don't forget to add spontaneous work